Happy Friday. It seems like it's been a minute since I've done one of these, so I'll make it brief. And first, I want to wish everybody, all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day, and hope you have a wonderful, beautiful weekend, relaxing and getting spoiled and just remembering the love that you bring into your family. So I was wondering, okay, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to bring up? But it's been something that I've been called out to schools on a regular basis, and it's students getting a pass, asking their friends to have a pass to use the N-word. Now think about what that means, right? So students are going around asking other children of color, specifically Black students, if they can use the N-word because we're friends, right? You know, I have a Black friend, and so can you give me a pass to use the word? Take a minute and stop and pause. Who has ownership over that word? It's not the Black student. They didn't invent the word. If we look at the origin of where the word came from, it started back and was used in a derogatory way to get slaves to work. And it also was then of the separation. There was adjustment of how the word was used. Even in many speeches that you see or books that you read, the term Negro is used in Dr. Martin Luther King's speech as to how Black people were regarded and described then. But now, as we've come into a different time, the word is not used in a way that we see it and have seen it in the 60s. And so we have to ask the intention of why that word is being used. We know that rappers are using it. We know that their favorite artist that they hear on the radio is using it, but doesn't make it right. Now, we have some Friday facts, and this is going to be some of my opinion. But one, nobody has the right to get a pass to use the word from another student. It's putting that student in a very awkward position. They're looking at their friends who they respect, and that friend is asking them to be able to use a derogatory word around them, which makes that student feel a little bit uncomfortable. And most of the students that I talk to do not appreciate the question even being asked. So when you're put in that position in front of people that they're asking, you kind of stay silent. I would ask that you sit down and talk about how loosely that word is used and why one would need a pass to use a word that Black people do not own. And for me, here's the opinion piece, no one should be using it. It's a word that is not uplifting in any way. And if you look up the definition of niggardly, it means with a person that's not generous or selfish. And so I've heard students say to me, oh, but Miss Loveday, we're using it as a term of endearment. If that's the case, the definition of the adjective of that word is basically calling your friend a selfish person. So is that really a term of endearment? So there's things that are appropriate, and calling someone that is not appropriate. And I hear people say, well, why can Black people say it and it's okay, but white people can't? Again, depending on who you talk to, there are going to be different perspectives. I respect those perspectives, but me personally, no one should use that word. Black, white, brown, purple, or green. It is not a word that should be used back and forth in any regard, and one that should be stated and said. So there are different conversations around it, but when I'm talking to students, it's a word that triggers people to be upset. It is also a word that is not used to uplift someone, and it is used in a way to degrade them. It's interesting because out of all of the racial slurs that are out there, this is the one word that, again, is up for debate as to who can say it, who has power over the word, and why. There's no other racial slur out there that I can think of that is being used in hallways among students. And it troubles me. And so I think as you're talking to your kids at home or your students at school, have them abstain from using any word that is derogatory in meaning or in other context, so that the people around them, while they might be able to do it within their friend group, there's going to be somebody listening, and it will be somebody that they may rub the wrong way, and it could get them into trouble. So keep that word out your mouth, and let's move forward in a way that is respectful. And again, we can't always look to superstars to be our leaders. We have to make decisions for ourselves. There's a lot of debate around this conversation, and I hope that you start this conversation and set the tone of standard in your home and in your school. And please know, asking a Black student for the N-word pass is pretty offensive. Those are just some Friday facts. Have a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day.